Marama Davidson is back at Waitangi.
Of the north, there's arguably no place better than Waitangi for Marama Davidson to officially announce she's back.
Kia ora whānau. I purposely wanted to pick up on the excitement and vibe of the nation, sending a clear message that they stand for kotaitanga. Waitangi is also a perfect place to be able to do that.
The Greens co-leader took around 6 months off to battle breast cancer. Now back alongside her caucus colleagues, it's a bittersweet moment.
Those months of trying to get through cancer treatments really showed me the power of community.
Undergoing a partial mastectomy, radiation and chemotherapy, some days were really dark.
Recovery and healing had to be my focus. Standing on the sidelines though and seeing things like the people rising up around the country to support Te Tiriti and the hikoi actions around the country. Gosh, that was FOMO. I ran out into my backyard and grabbed my flag and took a photo.
Now back on the political bandwagon, she's ready to help lead after a difficult year for the Greens.
The way that we can give our best mahi is by getting that balance better. I'm certainly looking to protect my weekends for a little bit.
The Greens and Labour arrived at Waitangi today, critical of the Prime Minister snubbing both the political porphyry on.
So that's one part of the story, which is great. It's funny that it's interesting that we just talked about how the different parties dealt with the different situations, and she definitely, it'd be nice to have her back.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was a difficult time for Chloe to be fronting the majority of that, eh?
Chloe has taken everything on her shoulders like an absolute champion. But it must be so hard to have your friend and colleague just doing it tough. She mentioned that photo from the hikoi. That it's that image. Just I remember seeing this when it came out and going, "Oh my god, that is a hell of a shot." I'm stoked to see her back. I hope it's the right choice for her, that she doesn't work too hard. Like, ease yourself back into it. I'm sure she's got great advice and she knows what she needs to do. But that's the sort of thing of like just concern. But I am over the moon to see her back and well enough to come back.
Yeah, and stress is one of the major causes of what's the word?
Relapse.
Relapse. I think technically it's relapse, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and politics is not an easy job, so good on her, but hopefully things go well. But I'm sure Chloe will be very excited to start the new year with her co-leader. I can imagine. Second part of the story was about Luxon, jellyfish Luxon, Cuxon.
Jellyfish Man.
Backdoor Luxon, jellyfish man, who is not attending Waitangi this year. And I think Chris Hippins makes a good point that he could do all of the things because he'll be spending it here in Akaroa and Christchurch with Ngāi Tahu. So we'll have a quick look at ye old Chipper.
Critical of the Prime Minister snubbing both the political porphyry on Wednesday and the Waitangi dawn service on Thursday, instead opting to head south to Ngāi Tahu.
But there's no reason why he can't do both. So he could be with Ngāi Tahu on Waitangi Day itself, but still be here for the porphyry on the 5th, when all of the other political parties will be welcomed.
They say Christopher Luxon should face the music.
I think it says that the Prime Minister's not interested in engaging with or listening to the people who are being affected by his government's decisions.
This is when the Prime Minister has an opportunity to come and listen, to come and confront, to come and front up.
The politics at Waitangi well and truly underway.
So we started off to Waitangi week. Some exciting things and some exciting things to look forward to. There was also a story tonight about the Te Tii Marae, which is the house, or the marae where the treaty was signed. Media have been blocked from going in there for about the last 5 years, and there was some great footage of I think John Key getting manhandled a little bit. quite a contentious location, and because it had been done up and reopened, it was the first time cameras were allowed on site. I think most of that footage was from that, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, when he announced that he wasn't going, it's funny how the thoughts flowed through. It's just like I was like, that's a bad political decision. Like that's just undeniably a bad political decision because he is bad at this. He's bad at being a politician. He makes bad decisions. So 100% predictable, on brand. Nobody in his team said, hey man, I think this is a time that you should go. No, I won't. Too scary. Running away. We'll go to some Māori thing, but far, far away from Waitangi. The moment that he did that, I was like, cool. So Waitangi is just going to be a much more positive thing because of it. Like, David Seymour's been asked to stay away. Cool. Make it all about Māori. All about all the good work that has been done since the election. That unified front. That's what it's all about now. And Luxon can go and have his barbecue in Akaroa, and cool. Hopefully, very little coverage. I don't know why Katoa who extended an invite to him. It's strange. It would have been pretty funny if he was like, "Oh, I'm going to spend Waitangi Day, with a different Māori tribe," and people would go, "Which one? Where?" And he goes, "Oh, you don't know them. They're different tribe." Just let him stew on that.
Is it the old rich people on Waiheke Island? Is that where he's going for Waitangi?
It just turns out that he's going to fucking the Possibly Club or whatever it is. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to this Waitangi because I think it will be overall like just glaringly a more positive one than we've had, and I think that's what's needed this time around. I'm glad that the politicians, well, the anti-politicians aren't going there to try and drum up their side of the story. Fuck them.
That is one big positive, I guess.
Yep, absolutely.
Two more super chats while we're at it. Mr. Arvids for $2. Seymour is a Pedro protector.
That sounds like the start of the world's worst Avengers. Pedro protector. Yeah, don't like it. It's sus vibes.
No, agreed. Gareth, $8.99. I hear that the UN Committee Against Torture has taken up your case against JB Hi-Fi Chewie.
And I have said I will have my day in The Hague. I will have satisfaction.
Peter for $5. The polls have shown an increase in public support for the treaty. Backfired a bit for Luxon and the worst person in the world.
Good.
Hopefully.
Good. This was my silver lining to this whole thing, is that it has forced the issue. It has forced people to either learn more, but get less ignorant, or examine their own prejudices, or just actually take a fucking position.
Boris Johnson's new...
Surprise Boris Johnson there. So yeah, look, I think there's been so much in the media. There's been so much discussion about the principles of the treaty and what the treaty means, and the fact that the treaty is not just the treaty, there's Te Tiriti as well. There's been, just by pure osmosis, there has been more information out there in the general space talking about Waitangi, the Waitangi Treaty Waitangi, and that sort of thing, and what that means for people, and how it's been misinterpreted, and how it's been abused, and why this is important, and then couple that with people's natural suspicion of a lizard wearing a human suit called David Seymour. I think that's the thing. The man has no riz, and people don't trust him because of it. He's actually heard his own argument. It's dragged a lot of ugliness to the surface, but there's also been a lot of disinfectant applied as well. So hope against hope. That's where we're going. We've ripped the Band-Aid a little bit.
Speaking of information, RNZ recently have uploaded 4, 5, 6, even 9, quite a lot of these talks about the treaty. And I was watching this one earlier. I was going to show some clips, but we'll see how we go for time, maybe perhaps tomorrow. But there's some fascinating, what would you call it, history that is like beyond just the, when it was signed, how it was signed. It's all it's the expertise of these people really coming through, of like the nuance of it and who exactly Hobson was and what his intentions were. And I learned something today about the one with Eru. This one was fascinating because he mentioned, I only watched the first wee bit of it, but he mentioned the first constitution that was signed before the treaty, which was like mind-blowing for me because I didn't even know this document existed. So I highly recommend it. Go to the RNZ YouTube channel and seek these out, because I watched 2 of them and they were amazing. So I can imagine the rest of them will be super awesome to watch. And even the one with Peter Ads, I learned so much in just 40 minutes.
I think I have those all saved to my watch later playlist. But one of the things that came out just from watching the submissions process, the oral submissions there, is the absolute gulf of between the submitters that are for the bill and those that are against. The people that were submitting against had a deep understanding of what they were talking about, and the people that were for the bill was very much just operating on like the loosest or the wrongest interpretation of what they were there to talk about. And it just stuck out. So to see people that have spent huge chunks of their career around this, and just talking about it just naturally, like you don't get buried in all of these terms or anything like that. It's a very natural discussion from what I've seen. So yes, again, second vote for go and watch that series. RNZ have done some very, very important work there.